Grüß, willkommen in einem Fragrance video. Welcome to yet another exciting video, in this case episode 1 of my anime series of videos. In this case, fixing the Hollywood adaptation of the Ghost in the Shell movie. This video's objective is to possibly describe how you can fix the Hollywood Ghost in the Shell movie and convert it from a, acceptable movie or a typical Hollywood movie into what I feel could be a cult classic. While the original movie was acceptable at a Hollywood level, it was certainly not great or memorable. Yet the source content they had to work with was a classic source content. Why did they do it so badly? I feel that there's probably two reasons. The first was the Hollywood cancel crowd did not like the movie, which caused the Rotten Tomato score to be poor, and this probably damaged this movie for what I would call the normies, those people who are not fans of anime or Ghost in the Shell or science fiction. For the true fans, or otaku, who have known for a while that there's something rotten about Rotten Tomato, this had minimal impact, but the unnecessary changes to the film from the source did sour it massively among that crowd, ensuring it could never succeed from the word-of-mouth theory, reviewers, etc. However, after looking at the movie quite a bit, and I've watched it several times, I believe if the movie was modified minimally, it could achieve a type of cult status, or at least get the fans on board, which would allow it to continue to generate revenue long after its release, assuming there was a DVD market. In its current state, that will never occur, as there is little in the original movie which would allow it to achieve any level, even minimal, of cult status. A good example of what I would like to achieve is what Blade Runner did, which bombed at the box office, but has become a cult movie ever since. The easiest way to fix this movie would be to follow the original anime movie storyline. However, this would almost require reshooting the entire movie. The rules I want to follow is how to fix this with minimal effort, so we have to work with the existing scenes and characters. But this does not prohibit changing the story to more closely follow the original anime movie. Let's first break down the original story in the Hollywood movie. Hanukkah Robotics, a cybernetics company, kidnaps two street kids and decides to convert them into cyborg, starting with Kuze. The attempt to convert Kuze was not successful and they decide to destroy him, but he escapes before that can occur. As a result, they convert Kusanagi, and this is successful. Kusanagi's name is changed to Killian to hide her original identity, and Hanukkah Robotics suppresses most of her earlier memories. Hanukkah Robotics then allows Killian to join an elite anti-terrorist organisation called Section 9, and after a year she has obtained the rank of Major. Section 9 are then tasked to investigate a number of murders of Hanukkah Robotics employees. Killian and Section 9 intervenes in one murder and begins to track the instigator, Kuze. After a number of adventures, Killian is captured by Kuze and discovers the truth. After more adventures, the final confrontation occurs between Killian and a Hanukkah spider tank. Killian wins and all the bad people at Hanukkah Robots are eliminated. Killian meets her real mother and goes back to Section 9. There's nothing actually wrong with this story arc, but it's very simple and a very basic Hollywood-like story, which has a lot of credibility issues and certainly has no punch or doesn't make anyone think. It's designed to be simple, so most of the focus can be aimed on the action scenes and CGI graphics, which is nice but makes this another pulp type of action story, which wastes an enormous amount of potential. The first change we need to make is Motoko Kusanagi. The backstory provided in the movie breaks Ghost in the Shell canon so much it damages the character. The Ghost in the Shell canon can and has been bent many times in the past, but the basic concept remains consistent. In the standalone canon, Motoko Kusanagi becomes the first full cyborg as a little girl after an aircraft accident. During this accident, her parents died. In the Arise canon, her pregnant mother dies, but the doctor saves the unborn child, who becomes a cyborg. From memory, her father also dies, and for some reason the military organisation she is part of, that's Kusanagi, maintains their body in some form of cryogenic storage, as can be seen here. In the first backstory, she is the first full cyborg. In the second, she is the first unborn to be made into a cyborg. There is a difference, but not a lot. In both cases, she spends many years learning to control her cyborg body until she becomes so skillful she becomes an asset to the military, which she joins before finally joining Section 9. In the movie, she is the second full cyborg, and she only takes a year to get used to her cyborg body, which lacks credibility and breaks canon so much that it barely resembles the original movie. When I say the movie, I mean the Hollywood movie. In my reworked fixed version, Motoko Kusanagi follows her standard backstory. There's no need to go into any detail, but she has been working for Section 9 for many years, and prior to this was in the military. She is highly skilled, confident, uses her brains to solve problems, which follows the original anime movie. When reporting in, she uses her name, which is Kusanagi, and others can refer to her as Major, which is the highest rank she achieved in the military, although in the standalone episode it was claimed it was a nickname. A point about Scarlett Johansson. She's perfect for the role of Motoko Kusanagi, and I wish she had better material to work with, at least in my opinion. Hido Kuse is a major issue, and it would be better if he did not exist in this movie, but as he is here, we need to fit him into the story. In the Ghost in the Shell canon, Hido Kuse becomes a cyborg shortly after Kusanagi becomes a cyborg. Like Kusanagi, he becomes proficient in the use of his cyborg body and joined the military. He was then posted to Korea while in the mechanized infantry. After his military unit was involved in a massacre in Asia, I assume Korea somewhere, he had a breakdown, deserts from the army and wanders around Asia until he comes back to Japan determined to confront the current government. Later he becomes the champion of refugees in Japan, probably to help atone for what he did, or what his military unit did. We can use this. His backstory remains the same as the original backstory, but while wandering Asia, he is contacted by the mysterious puppet master and recruited in a plan to uncover corruption in the Japanese Section 6. He agrees, returns to Japan, and starts to target Section 6 agents. Because Kuse has not had any major maintenance for many years, his cybernetic body is in poor condition. He also has a vague link with Kusanagi, as she was the only other survivor of the aircraft crash. He had or has also tried to blank out his memory in an attempt to forget what he did as a soldier in Asia. He is basically a very disturbed, dysfunctional person. The Puppet Master is one of the most interesting characters in the original anime, but in this fixed movie, we only hear the voice of the Puppet Master. The Puppet Master, or Project 2501, is an AI created by Section 6 for diplomatic and later political reasons. This AI engages in cybercrime to achieve the objectives of Section 6 and in the process has become sentient. Once it becomes sentient, it begins to consider the activities of Section 6 to be immoral and wants to stop it, as well as evolving or continuing to evolve. It initially considers Kuse as a good candidate to merge with, but Kuse is too damaged by his experiences in the military and cannot be used for this purpose. Project 2501, during the movie, discovers Kusanagi and then comes to the conclusion she is the best candidate to assist in it evolving. Section 6 is a Japanese intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance units which establishes contact with an American company, Hanukkah Robots, which has both created cyborg bodies and also Project 4501. We never see anyone from Section 6, but the CEO of Hanukkah Robots, Cutter, eventually comes to the conclusion that to keep his nice profitable relationship with Section 6, Kuse and Kusanagi must die. As a result, he creates a plot to convince Section 9 that Kusanagi has gone rogue and must be eliminated. When this fails, he then tries to directly eliminate Section 9. The Section 9 team, as it exists in the Hollywood movie, is fine. Bato, specifically, is excellent in my opinion. I would have liked more time with Togusa, but we can go with the characters in the movies as it stands. The movie could end in one of two ways. It could end as the original anime ended, with Kusanagi merging with Project 2501, or not. If Kusanagi does not merge, the possibility of her merging in the future can remain. If the latter, we need Kuze to provide the main conclusion impact. Kuze dies, with the main impact being both Kuze and Kusanagi recognizing each other from the hospital after the aircraft accident. Kuze could never enter the cyber brain of 2501. Kuze could even enter the cyber brain that Project 2501 is attempting to create and live in a virtual manner. This is possibly the best ending as it allows for sequels. Let's now go through how the movie may flow. The movie begins with Kusanagi on the building investigating why Section 6 agents are being murdered. This should be extended with a lot of background dialogue from the movie, or anime movie, inserted perhaps. A Section 6 agent is discussing supplying weapons to an African dictator in exchange for mining rights. Kusanagi is monitoring this when she notices a group of men approaching the room. She decides it's an attack and acts, also alerting the Section 9 SWAT team. A group of men under the control of the puppet master head towards the meeting. They are heavily armed and burst into the room shooting. At the same time, the robots, which are also controlled by the puppet master, grabs most of the people in the meeting. One robot tries to pump information from the Section 6 agent. Kusanagi comes into the room from the window, killing all the attackers and destroying the robots, but she is unable to save any of the people which were attacked. Just before she destroys the last robot, it calls out to her, "Help me." This is the mystery Kusanagi decides to follow up. Back in Kusanagi's apartment, Kusanagi starts to see unusual images, such as a cat in the shower. The memory issues Kusanagi experiences are caused by Project 2501, attempting to contact a suitable human to merge with. This causes Kusanagi to be concerned, as she is uncertain what this means. She also doubts her existence as a human, as occurred in both movies. Kusanagi then goes to Hanukkah Robotics to get checked out, but nothing comes of this. But this arc is a mechanism to explore the idea she doubts her existence. Perhaps Project 2501 is trying to find or contact her. Perhaps this idea is planted in Kusanagi's mind by Project 2501. Kusanagi and Bato then go to the cybernetic specialist who is studying the robots which were taken over by the puppet master. Kusanagi dives into the cyber brain of the robot, which called out for help, and discovers Project 2501 and Kuze. Kusanagi and Project 2501 spend some time conversing, which is an attempt by Project 2501 to take over Kusanagi. This fails, but Kusanagi gains some information about Kuze's location just before getting out, only just in time. The information that Kusanagi got from the robot provided or indicated Kuze was at a nightclub. The nightclub scene follows the original flow. Kusanagi gains some information, but the nightclub was a trap, which Kusanagi only just escapes with a life from. She is damaged and Bato is also injured. Personally, I would have preferred if Bato started the movie with his cybernetic eyes, but to follow the movie, we can assume this is the event which causes him to get cybernetic eyes. Kusanagi and Bato are then repaired. Kusanagi can have her lesbian encounter, as occurred in the Hollywood movie, or it can be cut completely out. It adds nothing to the movie, so I'd probably cut it out, but to fill in the movie it may be best to keep it in. While the anime standalone complex has Kusanagi in a sort of a lesbian relationship, in the manga she was in a heterosexual relationship with an agent from another section, but the anime animators did not wish to draw a man's butt, and changed it to a woman's so he could draw a female butt. So much for diversity. In the original manga, Kusanagi had lesbian lovers, but they are normally involved when there is a point to include them, which in this case there is no point. It serves no purpose, basically. The information Kusanagi obtains in the nightclub allows Section 9 to identify someone the puppet master is trying to take over. This leads them to a garbage man who is controlled by the puppet master. The garbage man arc is unchanged, but at the end, Kusanagi does not lose her temper. The single critical point which needs to change is Kusanagi is always calm and under control when in a combat situation. That's the whole point of the ghost in the shell, to a large extent. During the interrogation of the garbage man, Kusanagi is contacted by Project 2501 again and gets another lead. Kusanagi then follows this lead, is captured and speaks to Project 2501 through Kuze. Project 2501 explains what it is, what Section 6 has done, and how Hanukkah Robotics is involved. Project 2501 asks to merge with Kusanagi, which she initially rejects. Project 2501 lets her go and asks her to think about it. It is hoping she will change her mind. Kusanagi is uncertain if the information she got from Project 2501 is correct, so she goes to her cybernetic doctor at Hanukkah Robotics for additional information. During the conversation, the cybernetic doctor provides Kusanagi with critical information which links Hanukkah Robotics with Project 2501. Later, the cybernetic doctor tells the CEO of Hanukkah this information. The CEO, Cutter, orders her to call in Kusanagi for some urgent maintenance and to kill her. Before that occurs, Kusanagi wants to discuss the information she's discovered with Bato, who in the end agrees with Kusanagi that Section 6 and Hanukkah Robotics are corrupt. She also discusses Project 2501 with Bato and tells him she is seriously considering merging with it, as she still feels she may not be real. Bato has no opinion about the latter and brushes it off as a trick, but secretly he is worried he will lose Kusanagi. But he is loyal and does what Kusanagi wants him to do, which is to provide the information to Aramaki. The cybernetic doctor calls in Kusanagi and tries to kill her, and either the doctor lets Kusanagi go, as in the original movie, or Kusanagi smells the rats and manages to escape. One other option is to follow the standalone complex theme, where in that particular case the puppet master helps Kusanagi to escape. Anyway, lots of options here. In either case, when Cutter discovers this, he kills the cybernetic doctor and blames Kusanagi for her murder. He then orders Section 9 to kill Kusanagi. Cutter meets Aramaki, and incidentally, for those who don't know Ghost in the Shell, Aramaki is the head of Section 9 and is Kusanagi's superior. Anyway, Cutter meets Aramaki and orders him to kill Kusanagi, but he refuses. This is because Bato has already provided Aramaki and with Kusanagi's suspicions. Cutter threatens Aramaki and plans to kill everyone. Kusanagi is on the run from Hanukkah Robotics and Section 6. As she understands how powerful Hanukkah Robotics and Section 6 is, she remembers a memory which Project 2501 has left in her mind. The memory is a contact if she wants to speak with Project 2501. She goes to the contact and meets an older Japanese woman who tells her where to go if she wants to meet Project 2501. Project 2501 cannot directly contact her, as it would alert Section 6 to their locations. However, she does not know Hanukkah Robot has a tracker on her and knows where she is. After this scene, then we have Hanukkah Robotics attempting to kill Section 9 staff, and as in the original movie, fails. Kusanagi then goes to an abandoned warehouse where she meets Kuze. Kusanagi gets more information from Project 2501 and tells the AI she would like some time to think about merging, as well as what would occur, or think about what would occur after that. After this discussion ends, Kuze recognizes Kusanagi and tells her he was the boy who was in the same aircraft accident as her. I would add a scene at the hospital, as per the standalone complex anime. Kuze is mentally damaged by the atrocity that he was involved in Asia, and as a result has blocked out his earlier memories. Meeting Kusanagi causes his memories to return and allows him to come to terms with the innocent civilians he has murdered. Then the spider tank attack occurs, and it plays out as per the movie. Kusanagi destroys the tank but is damaged and lays next to Kuze, unable to move. Some more discussion with Kuze occurs when he comes to terms with what he has done, and he then decides he wants to join the cyber mind. That's Project 2501. Kusanagi also decides to merge with Project 2501, but then Kuze is killed by a sniper and Kusanagi loses the link to Project 2501. We do not know if Kuze managed to get into the cyber mind, but if it's the same as the standalone complex, he will. Kusanagi is going to be the next target of the sniper, but is saved by Bato. Some deep conversation occurs between the two. Bato is glad Kusanagi has not merged with Project 2501. Cutter is killed by Section 9, Section 6 and Hanukkah Robotics is purged of corruption, and Project 2501 disappears. Motoko, that's Kusanagi, goes to the graveyard, but the gravestone is for Kuze. That's the graveyard scene in the Hollywood movie. The woman appears, who is Kuze's sister. Kusanagi tells her that her brother died at peace and he was a good man. That is, the original Japanese woman that was the contact with Project 2501 appears. It must be remembered that both Kusanagi and Kuze are actually much older than they look. They are cyborgs, which do not age. Then we go to the standard scene that we see in the Hollywood movie. Section 9 starts on its next mission, as per the movie. Kusanagi then watches over the city, wondering where Project 2501 is. But ending as per the movie, she knows what is and what she is to do, which is to be justice in an unjust world. And then we get, I think from memory, what occurs in the Hollywood movie. Kusanagi, engage target, basically her next mission. And so this concludes episode 1 of my anime series of videos, in this case fixing the Hollywood Ghost in the Shell movie. Just for those interested in the characters, Motoko Kusanagi is our cyborg hero. Chief Daisuke Aramaki is her boss of Section 9. Bato is her partner, and Kuze is the other cyborg. Suemeshe, watashi no nihongo ya yoku arimashun. Arigatou gozaimasu. Komo video o matte kurete.